I was very friendly with Danny Thomas. I had worked with him in New York when he came from Chicago as the Great White New Hope comic from Chicago. And he opened at the Martinique in New York, and I was his opening act. And we became very good friends. His wife's name is Rosemary, too. And he always thought I was a great performer, and he always liked the way I worked and all this and all that. So when we came out here, I said, when am I going to do your show? He said, oh, you'll do the show, don't worry, because he had a big hit show, and I wanted to do it, and I was doing a lot of television then. And they would come to see me in Vegas, he and his wife, and Sheldon and his wife would come. And in fact, Sheldon was kind of like my mentor. He was wonderful, he and Danny, both. And they would come and say, don't you ever die on stage? And I go, not if I can help it, And they said, and I said, when am I going to do your show? He said, oh, your time will come, your time will come. Okay. So I get a call one day, and they said, go to Desi Lou and Danny Thomas' office. I said, oh, I'm going to do the show. She said, no. She said, this is for the new show, Dick Van Dyke. I said, what's a Dick Van Dyke? They'll tell you when you get there. So I arrive, and Carl Reiner's there, and Sheldon, and Danny. And I didn't have to read or anything. The part was mine. And one of the nicest compliments I've ever gotten was Carl told me that Sheldon said to him, you want the best for this part? Get Rosemary. And then after the show was over, Carl sent me a wire, and he said Sheldon was right. It's one of my prized possessions. I said, who have you got to the third writer? They said they haven't decided yet. I said, what about Maury Amsterdam? Now, I've known Maury since I was 11 years old. I met him when I first came out to the coast here to do the Al Pierce show. He was on the Al Pierce show as a regular. Then, when I went back to New York, he was living in Yonkers. We'd see one another, here and there, and at dinner and all this kind of stuff. And so we were very friendly. And I said, why don't you call Maury Amsterdam? They said, do you know where he is? I said, he lives in Yonkers. So they called him, and I called him, and I said, they're going to call you about a new show called the Dick Van Dyke Show. And he said, what's a Dick Van Dyke? I said, I don't know, but we'll find out, And he said, I'll be out Monday. He came out Monday, and they signed him, and we were all set. So I helped Maury get the job on the Dick Van Dyke Show.